I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic book show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we are taking a closer look at Generations Iron Man and Ironheart issue number 1. What happens when the Iron Avengers are displaced from time itself? Well, let's hop on in together and find out, shall we? Alright, so as we join the comic, we're treated to a setup that if you've read all the other Generations books will be pretty standard by now. Riri Williams wakes up not knowing from where or when she was sent. Only the rub is her suit is not responding to her, which means she's completely cut off from Hollow Tony's mentorship at this time. I think you'll probably notice about this comic right away is the art style keeps changing every couple pages. At first I thought they just had a bunch of different fill-in artists having to do the job, only to later discover this is actually the work of artist Margot Ruby, an artist much sought after and respected for his ability to blend a bunch of seemingly unrelated styles. Now, another really important thing that we find out that sets this Generations issue apart from all the other issues that have preceded it is that Ironheart is not actually in the past right now. You see, Riri comes face to face with the Avengers next. That's the children of the original Avengers, in case you're wondering. Bendis loves to work with these guys and manages to work them in right here. The shock of discovering that she's from the future mixed with the strange new atmosphere that Earth seems to have right now causes Riri to pass out, and when she awakens, she's met by none other than Tony Stark. Only he's about 100 years old right now, and he also happens to be the new Sorcerer Supreme of Earth. Yep, that's right, Bendis has tied together what's happening in Infamous Iron Man right now to what's happening here in Generations. Now, Riri is ultimately just happy to see a friendly face, so is Tony, and he's not shook by the whole time travel thing. I mean, hey, this isn't his first rodeo. One of his most famous adventures involves him going back in time and becoming a knight in King Arthur's court. Sorcerer Tony says a lot has changed on Earth in the last little bit, which might explain why Riri's armor isn't working anymore. Tony also says how much he miss armor craft now that he's given it up for sorcery. This surprises Riri to see her mentor and idol give up technology in exchange for sorcery and magic, but as Tony says, when you break it down in the Marvel Universe, they're basically the same thing. Tony figures he should do everything in his power to try and make sure Riri gets home safe before they do any irreparable damage to the timeline. This also serves as an interesting chance for him to give a guided tour of his new world. As he puts it, at some point in the future, the Avengers will eventually defeat Thanos once and for all. Because of that, all the different alien races in the Marvel Universe will be so thankful they will shower Earth with amazing technological wonders. It was through this new tech Earthlings were able to get rid of their pollution problem, cure diseases, extend their own life, and overall just usher in a new wonderful age. Oh sure, there's still street crime and corruption. They didn't cure human nature, unfortunately, but things are better now than they've ever been, due in no small part to the hard work of the superhero community. Tony tries to track down a time machine to help Riri get home, and he figures there's no better place to look for one than at the old Baxter building. Apparently Reed and Sue have been gone for a bit now, but their son, a fully grown Franklin Richards, is still managing the property. Man, say what you want about Bendis, he sure does love bucking that trend and writing about Fantastic Four characters, doesn't he? Franklin worries that sending Riri back now after everything she's seen in the future and everything Tony has told her, even though he tried to keep a bunch secret, could still cause a lot of damage to the space-time continuum. Tony, as is often the case, feels different, hoping that what Riri has seen and heard in this glorious future will inspire her to work harder than ever before for a better, brighter future for everyone. And yeah, that's basically where the comic begins to wind down. Riri fades out as all the other heroes have done in these Generation books, but unlike those books, we actually get to see what she does once she gets home. She hits the lab and gets hard to work, building a little tiny Iron Man droid like the one Sorcerer Supreme Tony had in the future. So that was Generations Iron Man and Ironheart, everybody, and while it didn't knock my socks off like the Thor and Wolverine one did, it still did a pretty good job flipping the script on what we've come to expect. For one, there was no villain or problem for the two heroes to overcome. They just kind of sat around and talked to each other, which is everything Iron Man and Ironheart needed, seeing as that out of everyone in Generations, they've spent the least amount of time together. It's also kind of cool to see Bendis pay off his Sorcerer Supreme, Tony, other universe dealie from Infamous Iron Man somewhere. I get the feeling feeling the seeds planted here are going to be really important for the future, especially as Tony Stark is no doubt coming back very soon, and the infamous Iron Man and Invincible Iron Man books are going to be coming together into one. Overall, it was pretty interesting, pretty laid back. I would give it a 7 out of 10. So that was Generations, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, why not check out some of these other books I've been working on. Then you can follow me on social media at Cape Joel, and if you're looking for a great price on comic book trades, please use my book depository link down in the description. Not only will you save a bundle, but you'll help me grow the channel while you're at it. And until next time, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching.